I'm gonna be like dead honest. This is a last minute planned video. What I mean by that specifically is that I did not actually plan this video out until I woke up this morning. As I said in my last video, I had other videos planned, scheduled, already written out. I gotta wipe my lenses, hold on. Better, I'm no longer distracted, okay. Yeah, but this one, I didn't even write it in a normal journal that I would usually write it. I literally wrote it on a notepad. It doesn't even have a name, and yet I already know what I'm going to end up naming this video. This is exactly how like impulsive this video is, and how like completely unplanned it's going to end up being. However, even though it is essentially unplanned, there is a reason as to why I felt like I needed to record it now of all times, outside of the fact that I was just thinking about it this morning while I was brushing my teeth and washing my face. So the main topic of today's video is actually going to be forced labels. I have the official thought piece introduction for the Discovery arc recorded. I don't know when I'm going to end up posting it, so it's either going to end up being right before this video comes out or afterwards. But in it, I specifically talk about how there will always be like people or institutions that will try to force a label onto you that doesn't quite fit who you actually are, simply so they can go ahead and either categorize you for their own benefit or sell you something. Because that's usually what society loves doing. Capitalism for the win, I guess. Now, in this video specifically, I'll be talking about a lot of the forced labels that I have found didn't actually fit me, but I've essentially carried for honestly too gosh darn long. And it starts off with the one that started this entire thought process, which was, I thought I had stage fright. Basically, I already knew what I wanted to do for a living for a long time. The only problem with it was I was not completely comfortable with performing in front of people in general. What is this? Now, the main reason as to why I wasn't completely comfortable in performing in front of people in general was partially the bullying that I ended up having to deal with until I basically got out of school. But it's also how much I thought about how people would perceive, I thought too much about how other people would end up perceiving me in general, but like the tiny things that I specifically am able to pinpoint about myself that I either A, don't like, or think that other people wouldn't like. I was too aware of all of that and thought about it too much. Now, yes, I do believe that, one, having to deal with bullying in general does not help that, but two, also having to deal with a relatively neglectful upbringing environment, emotionally neglectful upbringing and environment also doesn't help. It literally took me so long just to get to the point where it's like, it's not that I have stage fright. I'm just focused on too many details that I would like to change and not on the entire thing as a whole. It's probably another reason as to why I ended up starting this YouTube channel, putting on makeup so I didn't have to go ahead and show my bare face, because I didn't really like the spots and the multitude of moles that I have on my face. And probably another reason as to why I would try to make sure that my hair was at least done in something that I would be able to walk outside in, given like, I'd say perfect weather, and how I literally went from that to just hair however it decides to be that day. Needless to say, I'm not so focused on like how people are perceiving me, but how people are perceiving my words. Which is another reason as to why I usually have to write them down first. Consensus. I did not have stage fright. I was just too focused on all of the things I would perceive or thought would have been perceived as imperfections. Number 2. This one was specifically told to me directly. Many people thought I was shy or just did not like being around people. And to be fair, I kind of don't like being around people, but I'm going to get into that. So for the longest time, I had specifically thought that I was introverted, that I just loved my alone time. And no, I am not actually introverted. I'm just very picky about the type of people that I allow myself to interact with or just be around in general. Again, when you kind of end up having to go ahead and be brought up with someone that's constantly picking you apart just to go ahead and build themselves up, that doesn't even work because everything at this point is just shallow. You're not going to want to have to deal with stuff like that, like, constantly. Like, I already have to deal with a family member doing that non-stop when I'm at home. I don't want to have to deal with that anywhere else. So I'm not shy, I'm not introverted, I just am very picky with the people that I choose to be around. This third one kind of goes with the second one that I was talking about, but for the longest time I had felt like I had to prove I was likable, but not prove I was likable to anyone else, just prove that I was likable to myself. Which is very weird when you think about the fact that I did not put too much work, if any at all, in creating the friendships that I had when I was in school. Like, most of those friendships were not because I spoke first. It was because they spoke to me first. But it makes it even weird when I go ahead and think about that itself being the main reason as to why I wanted a romantic partner or a boyfriend so badly. And it's like, now that I've gotten to a point where I've accepted myself, I like myself, I take care of myself as well as I possibly can given the hellscape that we live in, I don't think I need it. Like, I don't need a boyfriend, therefore I'm not working hard to get one. That doesn't mean I don't want one, be fair, but I am similar to the whole friends ordeal when I was in school. I am not actively looking for one or trying to obtain one because I now do not have to prove that I am likable to myself. This next one is also something that I was told directly by many family members, actually. And it is me overthinking or just being anxious. I'm just very cautious and honestly too aware of the world, especially at the age that I was. I mean, like, now it's just it's easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, and it's like, yeah, nope, the world's a mess. I knew it for too gosh darn long. But it's like, I'm not anxious. I'm not an anxious person. I am a person that is well aware of the amount of problems and issues that have the potential of coming up, and would want to go ahead and make sure that we have some sort of like generalized plan on how to deal with that. I'm cautious, I'm not anxious. Also, getting back to the whole I think a lot thing. I think too much. No, I think a lot. Honestly, I feel like I can't stop thinking, but when head gets full, write down thought. Head will never be empty, head will only be clear. or organized. And the last one that I wrote down was, I'm a wild card, but there's a method to the madness. I make a lot of decisions that most people would end up looking at me and being like, okay, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make logical sense. To be fair, they might not be wrong. They might not actually be wrong in that sense. A lot of the decisions I end up making do not make logical sense, but it's almost as if they're completely forgetting the fact that you can make decisions off of a bunch of different things. Like, it doesn't have to strictly be logical. So yeah, it might seem like I am just unpredictable or a wild card, but no, it's just there's a very specific method that I am using, and honestly using well, but also fairly quickly, to make what I would believe is the best choice. Solely based off of a bunch of different factors. And people say that I overthink. To be fair, that would require a person to overthink. I think I'm doing quite fine, actually. Yeah, that was all that I had for this video. The main idea is the fact that for the longest time, a lot of these were just labels that were given to me that weren't actually what describes me. And honestly, I am both angry and relieved that it took me this long to figure it out myself. And that's kind of what I was talking about when it comes to like finding the golden nuggets of truth within whatever you're sifting through. Now that I've said all of that, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of whenever I post, and put any type of questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for future videos in the comment section down below. My name is Toki, aka your local internet friend, and this is Toki saying Toki out.